How's it going, everybody? So, uh, don't ask, something happened. Yeah, so basically, I'm here for another live, as previously asked by many of you. Thought of talking about how social media saved me. Many people say social media is an evil and it messes with your mind, and it can destroy your attention span, and it can kill your hobbies, and it can destroy your interest in other things. That's what people say social media is. But I have to disagree, because there is a huge number of us who simply don't have interest in anything. We don't like anything. We don't particularly like life itself. So, for those kind of people, social media was actually the savior. All right, because I feel that me and a whole bunch of people like me would have ended their lives long ago had they not come across social media, had they not realized that there are other people like that, them, had they not been interested in the raw content that is being provided to distract your mind from just the nonsense that is life, right? And that is what social media is just really fast distraction from life. Earlier, there were different kinds of distractions. You had community gatherings, you had movies, you had hanging out with friends, you had hobbies. I don't really find most hobbies to be nothing better than social media. It's just that social media has gotten faster at distracting you. It's gotten more its game, its serotonin game is super strong, right? So let's begin. So basically, like, since I was a child, right, I had no real interests, I had no real hobbies. The only thing I wanted to do was play with my friends. Yeah, nothing else. There are other people who like arts and craft, and then some of them like cricket, and some of them like football and whatever nonsense. I was a guy who always was like, okay, I'll do all these things. But at the end of the day, I want to come home and I want to stare at the wall, all right, or I want to watch some TV and chill and sleep. And my whole life was around sleep. And of course, my parents thought that it's ridiculous, that it's just a phase, or that I'm too young, etc. But deep down, I knew that there was just no interest in continuing to breathe, right? There's absolutely no point. And as I went through life and I examined life, I realized that there is no point to anything at all right? And I lived in my own angst. I used to be like, oh, but okay, so maybe I'm the only person, maybe there's nobody else like me. And then social media came, which was essentially my equivalent of to staring at the wall. Yeah, like when I was a kid, I used to stare at the wall, like that empty wall, nothing, didn't want to do anything, just wanted to waste as much time as possible before I ended it, before I unalived eventually. Now it came to social media, where I realized, oh, wait. There are other people like me. There are other people who understand what I'm saying, and they made an entire philosophy on it. Yeah. Even though I used to read books, and I realized that there were other people like that, it's just that it had not become as massive as that. Like on social media, we can comment, we can counter comment, we can ask, we can keep talking to each other, and we can say, okay, life is pointless. Yeah, but before this, we did not get that immediate feedback. Yeah, as Anand Mahindra said, that you do not get, if I need to get feedback from 11 million people, it's going to cost me so much money. Yeah, similarly, for our lives, for the way we live, for the lack of hobbies, or where in a world where everyone seems to have hobbies, yeah, you realize that, hey, all this is nonsense, all this is pointless, because everyone left their hobbies and came on social media, right? That means your hobbies were pointless anyway. Your hobbies were already a distraction from life. Yeah. So the if they were important enough, you would leave social media. Yeah, don't you leave social media for work? Don't you leave social media if an emergency comes, if you have to do something, you leave social media, right? So why are you beating around the bush? Why are you beating around the bush, saying that, oh, other things also give me serotonin, and my life is very stable? No, you're not. Most of you are disinterested in life. Most of humanity is simply disinterested in continuing this nonsense. Okay, no matter what you can gain enlightenment, you can gain equanimity, you can gain truth, you can gain God. What difference? What are you achieving? Yeah, even finally Buddha went out and started talking to people, right? Because that was his version of social media. No matter what you say, right? Finally, at some point, you got bored and you're like, let's do something. Osho went out and started a war. I don't know what he did. Yeah. So no matter whatever enlightenment you claim or whatever anything you claim, finally you go out and you try and engage, because at some level your highest enlightenment is realizing the fact that all of this is pointless. Okay, so that is exactly where social media comes for all of us. And I believe for most people in the world, there are a few people who really love their hobbies. There are a few people who are truly passionate about doing things. But other than that, most people are just wasting their time. They just found ways to waste their time, and to stay engaged and to stay distracted from the absolute truth that is life. What meditation says, or what Buddhism says, or what any spirituality says is concentrate on the life and realize that it is nonsense. I think I did that at a very young age. Okay, I had no option, because like what I was talking about in my last video, my parents used to throw me out. I used to sit on the bench. I had all night to think about things. There was no social media. There was no bench. I mean, sorry, there was nothing to do. Right, there was no one to talk to because my friends are at home. There was nothing. Yeah. So in that, I came to realize, okay, life is nothing. That this is me, and this is me hanging out with myself and figuring out that it is all nonsense. So that is how social media saved me. Otherwise, I would have unalived by now. And I think a lot of people would have unalived. And I think over history, well, people had a lot of entertainment. They had their wars, they had their nonsense going on, right? Uh, but overall, I think a lot of people would have ended their lives because of a lack of social media, or especially the people who are ostracized. I mean, when you're ostracized, it's not just about survival. When you're thrown out of society, it's not just about, oh, what will I eat. It's really about, what will I do with my life. Yeah, because what do I do with all this time I have? That is the ultimate punishment. That's why in earlier societies, ostracizing someone, throwing them out, was a big punishment, because people literally did not know what to do with their lives. All right. So that is one thing. And when there is war, you see the rates of suicide will reduce. You see the corruption reduces slightly. Or because people have something to do, some bigger cause to distract themselves. So it's really all about distraction versus distraction, or whether you want to look at yourself and not be distracted, face the reality raw, and then come to the same conclusion, but a more enlightened conclusion, that this is all nonsense. Okay, so the my only thing to you is be aware that all of this is nonsense, and constantly stay on it. And that itself is a kind of enlightenment, because the moment you start giving appreciation to the self, to things, to atoms, to neurons, to other people's projections, all right, it's only going to get you more into the trap that we call Maya, basically. And that's it. That's what I said. So let's take a few questions. Agree. You. Yes, everything is so pointless. Correct. Happy Wednesday from India. Half more week to weekend. Yes. Is there any connection between solipsism and spirituality? Because the essence of spirituality is to look inside, as per and how to know if spirituality is authentic or not. Look, bro, very simple. Solipsism is the assumption that you are here alone, that the entire world works for you, right? And that is like the Truman Show. And now it's very possible that the entire world works for you. It's very possible that all of you are just projections of myself, and that all of you are just making a fool of me, and I am in some sort of program. It's very possible. The other thing is, solipsism and is a result of spirituality is a result of solipsism. So then you become spiritual. You say, okay, if all of this is a projection of me, right, even if all of this is real, it's all of it is in my head, right? I'm seeing this image in my head. Finally, right, it may be there, but I'm seeing it in my head. I'm seeing all these things myself, in the mirror or in the camera, in my head, right? So technically, the world is solipsistic. There is nothing, the world is entirely for you. Even if everything exists, everything is for you. So then what am I? What am I seeing what am I doing about myself, why am I seeing so and so, right? I'm seeing a separate color in the same object. I'm seeing a separate color from my neighbor. I'm seeing a slightly different shape from my neighbor. I'm seeing it from a slightly different angle from my neighbor, right? So again, the world is solipsistic because it's all about you. It's all about how you see it and how you interpret it and how you react to it. All of that is a result of you being of the monkey in you, of the animal in you, the way you have taken in something and then the way you react to it. It's all about your genes. It's all about the way you have understood things and the way your neurons are formed and your childhood and your you being inside your mother's stomach and the way you grew up. Correct. So that is where spirituality comes, that I'm alone. So solipsism, I'm alone. I'm viewing the world alone. Now who am I? And then you realize, okay, I'm just an observer. It doesn't matter. And everything is just a projection of myself. So solipsism and spirituality, they are two sides of the same coin. Social media was a savior. So true. Really, really. Because, I would have not firstly, majorly, I would not have known that there are other people like me, and going on nihilist memes, going and seeing people posting about death, about thoughts pro mortalism, etc. That's where I'm like, oh, there are other people like me. So that was a major savior. Otherwise, I think I would have still been staring at the wall. I still would not have been either unalived or staring at the wall, or just frustrated with life, which I still am, but I'm much much less frustrated. Reddit is best, correct. Okay, if you insist. I don't like Reddit personally. I respect redditors. I do see some Reddit posts, but I cannot go through it myself. It's a lot of too much text personally. Spirituality is good kind of meditation, but in my POV, there can't be any God. It doesn't matter if there's a God. Even the God is a projection of yourself. No? So first look at yourself. Who's looking at the God? You are. You are experiencing the God. So who is you? Right? And who's creating this world? You are. So then technically you are God. You understand? Create purpose. Maybe help the non-nihilist. Create purpose. Very good. Fair enough. No, you can only create the purpose for yourself, because if I create the purpose, then what will happen is, then someone else will create a counter purpose, right? And then someone will create a this. That's how religions form. That's how sects form. And the moment you create a purpose for somebody else and you fall into somebody else's purpose, all right, without having examined yourself properly, you've created a religion. When you've created a religion, you've created ego. All right. The moment you create ego, you are blinding yourself from yourself. You're blinding. You assume that something is true, and you assume that some other thing is not true, which it isn't. It's all just a perception. It's all bullshit. But you have to come to that conclusion by yourself, and then you can create your own purpose. Of course, YouTube is best for me. I love YouTube. YouTube is such a savior when it comes to information, understanding things in a really fast format. Of course, there's a lot of misinformation out there, but then again, you have to use your brains, right? Is there any peaceful way out? Hmm. You'll have to come on PM for that. I'm not going to tell you anything here. I don't know how the 60s 70s people lived their life, as there was no social media and they didn't get their how they didn't get their existential questions. I really feel that there was no way to get to it. Like, even if you had existential questions, you went out, you got isolated. You've maybe found someone in your community, then you wrote a book, and or you went the hippie way. Messed up, man, messed up. I really feel bad for them. I guess some of them, uh, for them, some of them it was a big advantage. For some others, it was not such a big advantage. भाई पता है आपको इंग्लिश आती है, अभी हिंदी में बोलो। ओके, अब आई टॉक ऑन माय मेरे दूसरे चैनल पे बात करूंगा मैं हिंदी में। ये वाली इंग्लिश है। ओके, दिस इज माय इंग्लिश चैनल। व्हाट डू यू थिंक ऑफ द हिप्पी मूवमेंट? um it is a reaction to it's a reaction to life, okay, in the sense of that it's another point of boredom. Yeah, because the hippie movement happened in the 60s and 70s, where the US was at its peak. Yeah, so why should there be a hippie movement? You've got money, you've got everything, but people were bored. It is that boredom And that lack of self satisfaction that created the hippie movement. All right. Should children be afraid of losing parents? No, but why should they be? What do you care about your parents? What do you want to, like? Why are you afraid? You care about your parents that much? Even if you care about them, eventually they're going to die. So why are you afraid? How people live beyond 60s? What motivates them? Have you planned for your old age? I don't know how they live beyond the 60s. I don't plan to live for my old age. I think what motivates them is the delusion of life. All right, they really want to just continue living because they think they don't know what death is. They don't know what the other side is. So might as well live with the familiar. That's all. That's just fear largely. Social media is like easily accessible drug at everybody's fingertips to forget all this crap of reality. Yes, yes, everything is. Everything is. Work is a drug. Hobbies are a drug. Passion is a drug. Social media is truly a blessing for all, and for especially for those who don't have friends or those who are introvert. Yes, I agree. I completely agree. I don't actually like to go out and make friends. I have friends, but I don't like to go out and make friends. I do get uncomfortable when I'm introduced to new people, so I'm kind of an introvert. But social media, blessing. Like I can deal with each person individually on different things. Like on with one person I can talk about cars, with one other person I can talk about life and death and power, and each person is individualistic. It's so lovely. How to know if spirituality is authentic or not? It doesn't matter. Why do you not want to observe yourself? Do you not want to observe yourself? All you have to do is look inside. What is wrong in looking inside? It doesn't matter whether it's authentic or not. It doesn't matter what other people say. Hi, Shruti. Okay. What helps you to be less frustrated? Creating such complicated being as humans is pure diabolical. Okay, so what helps me be less frustrated is basic social media, largely talking to you guys like this, your comments, having conversations with you guys online. Um, Social media, yes, definitely. Working now, I've started liking work. Yeah, that's about it. Just keeping yourself busy. See, I am very satisfied with myself at this point. Okay, life irritates me, sure. And like, why the hell should I go out in the rain? Why the hell should I get up to go to the toilet at night? Or various other things, they constantly nag me. But I'm okay being me, you know and I'm like, now that we are here, let's do something big. Creating such a complicated being as humans is pure diabolical. I completely agree. It is an absolute act of evil by nature, and that itself shows how evil nature is. Who are you, so? It doesn't matter. If you don't know me, don't follow me. I know it has been discussed many times. One second. If that's a, it has been discussed many times, but when you think India will get active euthanasia for non-terminally ill, asking because I know you did some work in this field in India. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's going to take a few years, many, many years. So I'm tired of this question. And Piyush Mishra asking, "Who are you, sir?" Well, if you're asking me literally, then you'll have to Google me. You can in fact chat GPT me. I just chat GPT'd NihilAnand and I'm like, whoa. If you're asking me philosophically, I am nobody. Simple. How to renunciate this nuisance? Oh, wow, wow, wow. How to renounce, you mean? Renounce this nuisance. Um, Renounce in the sense of you don't have to give things up. Okay, just because you've left it doesn't mean you be with it. Enjoy it. Don't take it seriously, and always be ready to die. Always be ready to die. Yapping. Somebody asked me a really good question. In future technology eliminates suffering, would you change your stance? No, I would not change my stance because existence firstly cannot be without suffering. But let's assume that it is. Why should we exist? For what? Okay. And that's the entire basis of suffering. For what are we existing? Why would you try psychedelics? My would you try psychedelics? My philosophy is that being sober is the biggest hallucination. Mm, it is in a way. Psychedelics are useful, and I do suggest them for people in legal environments, or when you go to, let's say, the Netherlands or whatever. But yeah, they are this, but they're not everything. The best thing is to be sober and then get off the hallucination of being sober. All right, stay there, because psychedelics will not last beyond a point. They may change certain aspects about you, but they will not last. What do you say for someone who's bad at earning money? There's nothing to say. You have to they get a job, just work hard, stay at it, and you'll be fine. Like eventually improve your skills. Okay, I'm not very good at earning money, but I've managed. All right, and I still survive. I'm pretty comfortable actually. So you have to just repeat, restart. How do you plan to die after 50? Ooh, no comments. I will tell you in the DM. Yes, you are INTJ. What? Okay, if you insist. I tried psychedelics. Good for you. Can you guys stop talking in my WhatsApp? Stop with all this high nonsense. Life is overrated and sleep is underrated. I completely agree. Teach us Hebrew. No. In the DMs, I'll teach you everything. Not here. Psychedelics is whole different life. Even I got drug induced psychosis. Okay, if you like. The problem is that you may get in psychosis. So if you're in the bad mood and you take psychedelics, it may just take you towards the bad section. So yeah, I'm just saying, like, don't go for it, man. Like, do it in safe environments. That's all I'm saying. I introduced you, your antenatal stance, to many aunties. It was fun. They started abusing you. Giving life to someone is a big gift to the child in their view. Oh man, no, but good. I'm glad you introduced this idea to them. Let them, it's going to trouble them. The reason they abuse me is because I'm nagging at their illusions. Okay, so even if they abuse you and you say antinatalism and all, it's nagging at their illusions, because at some level they realize that giving life is evil. All right, so good. Fight those illusions. Let them all be insecure. It all comes from insecurity, correct? Does consciousness differ based on sperm or dependent on egg, dependent on the particular combination of both? Is it independent of both? Consciousness is independent of everything. It really depends on a lot of factors. Look, consciousness is supported by biology. Okay, there is no consciousness itself. I work very interestingly with a whole bunch of special children. All right, and I've been observing them for the past few months, and I've realized one thing, boss. Consciousness is completely dependent on biology. All right, most of them are not conscious. Some of them are hyper conscious and can't do anything about it. All right, and it's just a biological kink, right? It does not have. And now you see, when the machines reach singularity, you will realize your consciousness is not even worth an Nvidia chip. All right, all this rubbish about consciousness, you'll realize it's just an Nvidia chip within which there was consciousness. It's all mud, and that mud is supporting consciousness. That's all. It's just a bunch of electricity. Why is your content so strange? Well, how is it strange? I'm interested to know. I'm horrified to see many poor people around me giving birth to 3 children per couple. Well, poor people are stupid, that's why they are poor. Let me say this with my whole heart that I love you, brother. It has been so relieving to hear you speak out. Thank you so much. I've observed inside enough. I want to end this crap. The reason I said about spirituality is that I want to attain samadhi, if it exists. I don't want any painful way. Bro, samadhi is very painful. What is wrong with you? Samadhi is very painful. It's a lot of work. Find a guru for yourself and see if it works for you, samadhi. That's all I can say. How can anyone be pro-life in this world? I'm completely tired of sadness and happiness, and I believe that happiness is very short and sadness stays for longer time. Of course, they look. It's very simple, right? You are designed to be unhappy, and the reason you are unhappy is because you have zoocosis. I'll make an entire video on this. right? You are an animal designed to always be alert, all to always look for attack here and there, left, right, up, down. Yeah, the reason that you are what do you call it, that you are so disturbed all the time is because you have not cured your zoocosis. How do you cure your zoocosis? By being equanimous, by knowing that okay, this is just, it's just zoocosis, it's just my animal self looking for more security, looking, being more this, so that it feels safe at some level. Yeah, so even happiness and sadness, they are both two sides of zoocosis. Once your zoocosis is satisfied, you are happy, and then it immediately gets unsatisfied because the animal in you says, hey, things are too good, it's too dangerous. You get it? The moment you think things are too good, automatically you feel it's dangerous. But the whole point is to get over this crap and to be nishkam, to be neutral. Just work, do your thing, finish off, and be okay with it. All right. Everyday body needs make life so boring and annoying. I totally agree. I hate washing the dishes. I hate having a bath. I hate eating. I really hate eating. Like, even if the food is really tasty, which makes it slightly less hellish, I dislike eating. But it's okay. Once you become equanimous, it does not matter. Okay. What's the stance on hedonism and charvaka? If you want to be hedonistic, please be hedonistic. Okay. The problem is, I'm not hedonistic. I live simply, and I would have liked to be hedonistic because it burns more carbon. But if you want to be hedonistic, please be hedonistic. Burn more carbon. Let's get this done with. Okay. Do children owe anything to their parents? No, no, no child owes anything to their parents. I've said this 100 times. Are you new here? Even AI will be conscious in coming years. It will, of course, it will. What about the sense of self? If we were just bunch of electricity, wouldn't we be like robots without a sense of self? No, we are an advanced version of robots. A sense of self is an illusion. You are a bunch of cells who thinks that you have a self. Okay, all these different experiences are coming together in one. So I'm hearing something, I'm seeing something, I'm feeling something. Okay, all these five senses are coming together and saying, I am a self. What is a self? It's just, it's you processing, it's a singular processor. So eventually, AI will also have a sense of self because it's going to be a singular processor processing all the data in the world. Okay, so it's going to have a larger sense of self. Some people have a smaller sense of self. What is this if not an illusion? Okay, we are perpetually sad because we have been brought into this world from nothing, of course, and we crave for going back to nothing. If some other sperm won, would it be me? If the same firms fertilize some other egg, would it be me? It, because again, it wouldn't be you because all sense of self is an illusion. All right, that is like saying, if I got amnesia tomorrow, would I be me? No, because you are a memory. You're getting it. It's just a memory. If I tell you somebody else tomorrow, what happens? Just think of it this way, right? What if everyone forgets you tomorrow? What if suddenly oblivion happens? Everyone forgets you and you're a nobody. And your girlfriend says, or your husband or wife or says, "Who are you? Who are you? Please get out of the house. Your children don't this. Your mother doesn't like. Your father doesn't like. Not even like you. They just say that you do not exist. That we don't know who you are. What sense of self will you have? It's gone. So it's an illusion, it's a memory. It depends on your memory and other people's memory of you. Do you think people who are uh, have, what do you call it, dementia or something, do they have a sense of self? No, they have a fluctuating sense of self that itself says it's an illusion. All right, so would you be the same person? No, because there is nothing like the same person. You are just a creation of your own self, of your own memory. How to deal with the sadness that one experiences after watching extremely poor people producing multiple kids is a very sad sight. It is a sad sight, but just use that energy and use that sadness into consumption. All right, consume more carbon heavy products, and just let it end. Recently in Detroit, there was a flooding, and then the flood froze. All right. So we are very close to the day after tomorrow. That movie, if you have seen it, we are very close to absolute climate collapse and eventual social collapse. Encourage it. Forget the sadness. Use that energy to destroy. Okay. Ephilism. The spiritual people says that if somebody ends their life, he or she will be punished by God, and बोलते हैं ना आत्मा इधर उधर भटकेगी. Those are not spiritual people, those are religious people. Very big difference. And these are all games that they want to play with you. They want to play with your illusion. Okay, if they say your soul will roam here and there, what your soul is an extension of the self. Now when you're not there, when your memory is not there, what soul will be there? What do you think of serial killers or murderers? Should they be given mercy, or should they be disgusted by society? Are they justified? Of course, they are not justified from a social point of view, right? Because you cannot have these people roaming around and ending lives, especially after people have worked for 30 years, to build a career and make money and do something, and then suddenly some serial killer comes. You cannot allow that, right? And then there's the other point is that a serial killer is going to stop people from emitting carbon. Yeah, so for example, let's say Islam takes over the world, right? They will take the world back to the 16th century, but then you know how much the carbon levels will drop. So that is why I will not allow serial killers. That's why I will not allow murderers, and that's why I will not even allow terrorists, because they want to take everything back to the 7th century. But then the kind of carbon that then you reduce the rate of destruction of nature. I wouldn't allow that personally. You may have your own this. Life is just a soul trapped in a prison called a body. No, life is a body hallucinating itself to be a person. That's all. Hallucinating itself to be a soul. That's all. Kindly post all your favorite social media handles. Ooh, I have no particular social media handles. I see a lot of the right wing channels. I see some of the left wing channels also, and I'm largely into news and geopolitics. So mm, आ, कैसे कटेगी इतनी लंबी जिंदगी? रोज सुबह उठ करके यहाँ ये सोचता हूँ, कटेगी भाई. It should be fine. It shouldn't be that much of a problem. Just get up, live every day, make some money, invest it, have a little fun, eat. That's all. There's nothing else to do, bro. And if you want travel, I know these things are none of our interests, at least my interest definitely not. But I manage, man. Like, find yourself a partner who thinks similarly, and you'll be fine. Like, what about the asteroid that was supposed to hit India specifically? Oh, they keep coming up with such news. Don't take them seriously. One day it'll happen. It's not even going to matter to the world. If Indians are all out of this world, no one's going to care. How are you so knowledgeable? Well, a lot of time to think, staring at the walls, thought, lots of thought, um, reading things constantly, seeing a lot of videos. Thank God for YouTube. Um, and that's it, man. Interacting with the world and interacting with myself at a similar rate. Keep both yourself and the world in view. Okay, because even if the world is an illusion, you must know how that illusion affects you. That's all right, and you must realize how you are viewing that illusion. So it's both ways. So, and I'm always aware of these things. I cannot see a time pass reel. I mean, sometimes I do, of course, to relax, but overall I'm never looking at time pass reels. I'm looking at knowledgeable reels. You see, what is a memory? Where does it get stored? How does it work? See, that is the biggest question. Like, of course, we say that our memories are stored in the brains and all. Is it possible that it could be stored in elsewhere? Is it possible that you know they haven't found exactly? I mean, there are sections of the brain which have certain kinds of memories, but I'm not sure that, I mean, people have in the scientific community have I've questioned this idea that why are we saying that it's all in the brain? Maybe it's stored elsewhere. And of course, the body has memory. So these are still questions that need to be answered. Bro, I tried to explain to boomers about climate change and ultimate collapse. They were like, "Don't worry, scientists कोई ना कोई solution निकालेंगे." Too much optimism. See, I don't refute such people because it is very remotely possible. But the problem is that the solution will also be temporary, because the more solutions we find, the more we will consume. Okay, so that is how we are as a species. We are like a virus. So let's see. I mean, like, it's all a wait and watch game. I mean, already climate is destroying us, but I don't doubt that there could be some temporary solution. um I mean, you never know. It doesn't seem to me like that. I don't agree with that point of view, but it's possible. How can we destroy the environment faster to end life? Um, Consume more plastic. All right. Drive around more. Use planes instead of trains. Um, just consume, man. That's all you have to do. You have to consume. I mean, I cannot tell you to go and burn a jungle, all right, because I think most of you will end up in jail. But other than that, you just have to consume. Society makes it very easy for you to put carbon in the air. Just only thing is, don't try not to have a kid. All right, now all these special kids I work with, they all have I mean, they're all suffering, but they all have these there are ladies who come and change their diapers. There are ladies who constantly, so they have diapers, they have food, they have all this. They're just wasting stuff. Yeah, they're just wasting plastic and putting plastic into the atmosphere and carbon. They don't need to live, and they are suffering, and they will never have any future. But yet we keep them alive. Why? Because as a society we've reached that level of sickness. So the only thing we can do really is consume. You know, if I go to the psychologist, the doctor will definitely send me to the psychiatrist ward because I'm very pessimistic and I will question everything. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. A psychologist is not designed to send you to a psychiatrist ward. You can question everything, but do talk to a psychologist. I'll make an entire video on this. It's very important. Anti-men laws are causing wreck in Bharat. I just want one thing, that men stop getting married. Okay, just please. And I want the laws to be more anti-men, even more anti-men, to the extent that like men um are put on death row just for marrying women. All right, for whatever something the woman says, he should be put on death row. And I want the public to realize, stop getting married, dude. What are you achieving by this? Because most people, I'm not even against marriage, I'm just saying most people are getting married just because, unconsciously. Atul Subhash just went on what is it called, on shadi.com, randomly found this girl, did not know anything about her, and got married to her. What? And then the families were like, oh, the families met and everyone was nice. What? That's not how it works, dude. That's really not how it works. You are wrong about the real self. I did out of body experience. The body is just a robot for the soul. Out of body experience is no. I don't think that's possible. Because even if you are going for an out of body experience, where is your eyes are here, right? So how are you watching if you're seeing things from above, how are you watching? So an out of body experience can be a very big illusion. Your brain is very powerful, dude. Your out of body experience can totally be something of a delusion. Because if people did out of body experiences, we would be able to tell what's on Jupiter. We would be able to tell what is inside Jupiter. All right. So all of this nonsense, that all of this pseudoscience, that I had an out of body experience. Even I've had an out of body experience. I know it's a delusion, because otherwise you would be able to tell everything. Then people would have out of body experiences in the US and go and see the Russian nuclear arsenal. What sense does that make? Okay. So don't give me that. Do you know about Deepika Narayan Bharadwaj? Dude, I've met her. Like, yeah, she's amazing. I like the work that she's doing. She's very correct in her own. This I just have a hyper negative view on these things. So yeah, media is talking about the latent comedy. No one is talking about the real issue. Yeah, because nobody wants to talk about the real issues. Not even Indians. Nobody gives a damn. Nobody cares about AQI. Nobody cares about anything else. They only care about oh, we went to the Kumbh and we got stuck here and this nonsense happened and wow, 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 and now I'm free of all my sins. Now I can do whatever I want. So yeah, people are really frustrated, man. Why is there something rather than nothing? Ooh. Okay, but I've made an entire video on this. Why don't you go and check it out? All right, because something is what you view it as, right? It could also be nothing. It's just a point of view, really. And why is there something? No, you'll have to go check that video. I've done it more and extensively. So you teach special kids. No, I teach normal kids also, and then after that I have a new thing with special kids. Those guys cannot learn at all. Like they are practically like you cannot teach anything to them. You have to just take care of them. I mean, I did it for the extra money, and it's so interesting, man. I'll make a video on it. There's no sense of time when we sleep. Can we do it manually? Can we create a sleep manually till we die? Like there is no only body, no mind. I have no idea. I don't think you can do it healthily. Certain gurus say they can do it, but I doubt it because then a lot of people, those gurus would have been very rich. A lot of people would have paid for that stuff. And then there are many other issues like how do you do it healthily? Uh, if you are sleeping, then what about your bodily needs? And then will that sleep prolong your life, etc., etc. So I don't think so. Society producing children is more than enough to hassle climate change. The point of no return has been already affected. The process is irreversible now. I 100% agree with you. Do you ever visit the psychologist? Yes, I have visited a psychologist, and I will make a video on it. Definitely. Activated. Correct. Many people are marrying for the wrong reasons, dude. Most people are marrying for the wrong reasons. Not many. Most. 99. Okay. Percent. Ask him about how do you know that you had out of body experience. Yeah, exactly. How do we know you had an out of body experience? See, if you tell me what's in the center of Jupiter accurately, then I will believe your out of body experience. If you tell me what is happening in the Russian nuclear arsenal accurately, then I will believe your out of body experience. But other than that, like how to be productive because we are very lazy because of our pessimistic thoughts. How to be productive? Just it's called nishkam karma. Just completely give into your work and just like keep it as a like it's nothing. Okay, why don't you work some more, make some more money, keeps just like use work as a distraction like social media. Okay, that is what work is. When I had operations, I had general anesthesia. I didn't feel anything, didn't feel time also. Just eyes closed and open the next moment. I think death is just the same. Absence of everything. Absolutely. Same here. I agree with you. Chief ministers of South Indian states are encouraging people to have more and more kids. Cool. Well, they have to. They are chief ministers. They have no option, right? They can't exactly think antinatalistically. ओ गॉड, कुंभ मेला में जो नहाते हैं कितना कचरा फैलाते हैं और वाटर पूरा गंदा करके कर रहे हैं. ऑफ कोर्स the water is so dirty at Kumbh Mela. Like, what do you? I don't know what to say to these people, man. Like, forget it. कुंभ मेला में मर्डर भी हो गया. What else is left? Exactly. The murder. I heard of this because all firstly it's all nonsense. Secondly, all of this government security, this is happening, that is happening, these are all lies. All right, they're just there to distract you. So obviously all the evil elements are bound to come, you know. हाँ, मैं गया था कुंभी. Okay, are pessimism and antinatalism related? Yeah, somewhat, because you're pessimistic and then you eventually become anti-natalistic, and sometimes you can be an anti-natalist and also, but no, they're not related. I mean, very loosely related. You don't necessarily have to be an anti-natalist and a pessimist, or a pessimist and an anti-natalist. Yeah, it's just really Anant Ambani in Mahakumbh looked like a monster coming out of dirty water. I don't know why that man would have gone and put his head in that shit water. It's so sad, man. This is what India has come to, jumping into a body of water and saying, wow. Anyway, okay, it's been 45 minutes. I think it's long enough. I think I'm going to end it. Thank you for showing up. I'm going to come online in about 10 minutes on my other channel. Please come there, Hindi channel. Did you find teaching job there, or did you get it through my relative? Through a relative, through a relative. Do you think careers exist? Career is a complete illusion, and it is completely an idea, just like the self, a continuity of experience. Similarly, a continuity of job and life and your professional life is a career. It's a useful tool, but it is completely a delusion. Okay, let's see you. I'm going to see you in on the Hindi channel about 10 minutes. Bye bye. See you. Take care.